Maybe we should have a contest for our listeners.
Ooh, I love that idea.
All right.
We're having one.
That's it. That's my part. I come up with the idea.
Okay.
Krista, figure it out.
There you go. Krista, figure that out.
Yep, Krista, figure it out.
You're listening to the Help Me with HIPAA podcast, where HIPAA and humor collide to make learning fun. Your delightful hosts are Donna Grindle and David Sims. Relax. HIPAA help is on the way.
This is Smythe Duval from Marietta, Georgia, and you are listening to the Help Me with HIPAA podcast.
Thank you for that intro. I'm David Sims of HIPAA for MSPs and Security First IT. Joining me today is Donna Grindle.
Just like every other day.
Yep, except today, you're Donna Grindle.
Such a goober.
Yeah, I did find out, though, that apparently you have no affiliation.
None.
Yep. So I was in a webinar the other day, and this guy from a technology company is talking about HIPAA, and lo and behold, what pops up on the screen, a quote comes up and says, HIPAA's not about compliance, it's about patient care. And, initially I'm like, WTF, dude? Copyright, trademark, blah, blah. Anyway. Then I see your name under it. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know she sent him that.
I did not.
But, which, credit was given. That great. The funny thing was, there's who's Donna Grindle? There was no reference to the podcast, Help Me with HIPAA, Carden, nothing.
Yeah. So the lesson here is we are thrilled that people are learning from us and then doing presentations almost verbatim based on what we're saying, because that's why we put it out there, is to educate people. But please, at least plug us, plug the podcast. If you're going to put my name there, if you're going to use all the things you've learned from us, why not share that we're providing free HIPAA training? Why not tell people about the podcast if you're going to reference it? Don't just leave my name there like I'm some random person.
Yep.
If everybody in the group knows me, that's one thing, but I doubt that is the case.
Maybe that's it. Why would you need any introduction? You're Donna Grindle.
So please, we don't ask for a lot in exchange for you clearly making money off of what we're teaching you. We know that's what people do, and we want people to do a better job based on education that we're providing. But the least you could do, the least, is to give us credit and plug the fact that we're awesome and people should listen to us.
Yeah, true that.
Please, just, you narrowly escaped just by putting my name up there, which I was surprised that David didn't have a fit, because he actually came up with the tagline.
Yep. That is mine.
And you're the one that says it in every podcast. But, I don't know. I'm more famous, I guess, David.
Yep, you are. Yep. No, I didn't care about that piece of it. But, I didn't skim down to the end of it. So as I was reading the quote, it's like I could feel my blood pressure shooting up quickly. I appreciate the credit, but plug the podcast, please. That's all we're asking. Yeah.
Make sure you give us 5 stars and a great review, that we're so awesome you feel confident doing presentations about HIPAA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
it is validating, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It makes us feel like people are listening and getting value from it. So, we spend a lot of time and money doing this.
Maybe it's one of those things where, hey, when you find that thing, you're like, oh, I can't share it. It's too good.
It's my precious.
Yeah. Maybe it's that.
Yeah. Well,
so it's like, I always love it when people are like, I'm going to show you how to make all this money. And I'm like, if you know how to make all that money, you don't share it that easily. Because everybody
Or-
can't make all that money.
Right? You know, why is everybody not doing it? And really, why are you sharing it instead of going and making that money?
Yeah.
But
I make money off telling you how to do something I'm not doing.
that's the part I don't get. But anyway, we're not making any money off of telling you something that we make money doing. That's a loop we're in. So,
Yep. Sure enough. But anyway.
speaking of that, our boot camp,
Ooh,
which
is-
could have also been plugged during that webinar. If you really want to learn stuff, go to their boot camp
Yeah.
because I know you knew. Anyhow,
Or can you even go to this boot camp? We topped
not
out.
anymore. I don't think
Yeah.
so. Well, I don't know. By the time this comes out, maybe not. I think we have one
One. Yeah. I
seat
think
left.
I think that's what we're at. One.
Uno. And that's going all the way up to territory where we're like, I don't know if we can do this, but we're gonna do it.
Yep. So get on the list because it is
Yeah.
a short, exclusive list.
So yeehaw. I'm excited though. We're gathering all the stuff that are gonna be sent out in the kit, and I sent a video to test whether or not they can pay attention all day on video. We already are learning that's not gonna be the case.
I know your 4-minute video, and people were like, "Oh my gosh, man! Sit
I
for
have to
4
listen to it
minutes."
for a minute. This is not going to go well. And then you provide the humor, which was fantastic, I might add.
Have you sent
And,
that out? You already sent that one out?
No, that one hasn't gone out yet. It will probably, by the time this is published, it will have gone out. And once, we've had it, that one is so much fun. We're going to have to put that out for everybody to see.
Yeah.
David's tips.
I just have to say that there's one part in the video where you hear my wife in the background screaming, "The dog ate the chicken." And that was not part of the program. The dog actually did get into the chicken
While you were filming.
It's like, dang it.
That's great. Yeah. It was perfect timing. These
Yeah.
things happen.
Yeah, it was.
So we're really excited about the success of the boot camp so far, at least the success of people signing up, and that, we're selling it out. Bigger picture, we're going to see, we got to figure out what we're going to do in 2021 because we know we're not going to do another one of these in 2020. But we're going to see how well this virtual one goes, and it's possible we could do an on-site and a virtual in 2021, like another virtual one in the spring, and then hopefully by the fall be able to do an on-site one. We'll see.
Yep. All I know is it's going to be huge.
Huge.
It's going to be the best HIPAA boot camp ever.
Yes.
It's going to make a lot of people happy.
It's incredible. No one's ever thought of it before.
Yeah. Funny stuff.
All right.
So anyway, on top of that, a special thanks to our donors who donate to the podcast. We really appreciate it. And also, we haven't asked for reviews in a while, and we do have some trickle in and all that. But hey, leave us a review. We'd like to hear from people and how they're getting value out of the podcast and stuff like that.
Yeah, and for those who, prefer looking at a picture of us while you're listening, our YouTube channel, where we just copy the audio out with a picture of us right now. Hopefully, we can do some more video type stuff later, but it's picking up some traffic. So
Oh, cool.
folks are listening.
They're like, why are they so still? Yeah, I don't know that you want to see us when we record.
All right.
See me in my bathrobe.
Hair standing up on end.
I know.
Yeah.
So, no
But maybe
telling.
we'll get there soon.
Yeah, we might. See, for you, you have to roll out of bed straight to the microphone. I'm up a little earlier.
Yeah. I have to have a little awake time. This is a mainframe that has to boot, but it
Yep.
takes
I
it
know
a
that
minute.
is.
Takes it a minute.
All right. So
All right.
topic for today: free security awareness training.
Yeah. How you can build your own training event in your office with all the free content you need. And it's not us.
Nope.
It's coming from us and others.
Mhm. Even though the podcast is always, free security awareness training and free HIPAA training. But so we're going to show you how to get a whole bunch of free security awareness training. And, it always drives me nuts when people are like, I can't afford security awareness training, or I can't afford to do cybersecurity. And you and I both know the single biggest thing you can do is train your users.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's also the most freest one.
Most freest.
So I was listening to another podcast the other day, our friend over at Darknet Diaries.
Hey, Jack. Yeah.
I know. And so he was doing a podcast, and this company had just massive amounts of cybersecurity in place, and all the things to watch out for and block stuff and all that. And this guy, hacks the company by using social engineering. It was all about just getting one guy to run one program. And that was it. Yeah.
That was it.
And just circumvents everything this company has in place.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why they're able to do that is because there's not a whole lot of security awareness training going on.
Well, and that was like amazing. Just the fact that now there's a title called social engineer.
Mm-hmm.
And just the way they did that, just listening to that, because I was listening to the same thing this week. It was like I'm listening to the whole thing in the car, and a friend was in the car. I was dropping them off somewhere, and they were like, "Really? People just do that?" And I'm, yeah. If somebody called you, she's like, "Yeah, but I know them." And I'm like, "Not in a big company, you don't." No. So,
you'd be surprised how many people, even in small companies, you can get.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a office with 4 people in it.
Yeah.
They came within a centimeter of falling for one of the gift card scams. The lady was at the store. The only reason it didn't work was because they didn't have the gift card she was sent to get.
Oh, wow.
and
they contract with you.
Yeah. Yeah. 4 people in the office and almost got hit.
Well, there you go.
But actually, that was before they contracted with me. Not saying they would be much better today, but
okay.
At least
hopefully they would call you.
Yeah. But anyway, it just goes to show, and even people that do this kind of work, that's one thing they don't want to talk about, but they get fished too. They fall for things too, because at some point they are rushing around. They're in a hurry. They're trying to get something done. And then next thing you know, they've clicked on something they shouldn't have clicked on. Sometimes just by the sheer number and statistics, you'll end up falling for something because it hits you at just the right time.
Yep.
But, lower your chances and do security awareness training. So that's our topic for today.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So before we do that, let's hear a word from our sponsors.
2/3 of small businesses that experience a cybersecurity breach end up closing their doors within 6 months. Cyber criminals are targeting your practice and coming after your most sensitive data. Visit us online and schedule a time to talk about what you can do to protect yourself, your patients, and your practice. Our website is securityfirstit.com. That's securityfirstit.com.
Does your business work with medical practices? As a medical practice business associate, do you realize that if you have access to patient information, you have to follow the same HIPAA rules as your client? Call Carden today at 678-292-5001 so they can assess your privacy and security practices to help ensure you are protected and prepared. Visit cardenhq.com to learn more. All right, we're back. Let's talk about some free SAT training.
All right. Well, David just sat on it. But every, last few years anyway, we either during October or after October tell you about National Cybersecurity Awareness Month.
Mm-hmm.
And there's National Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and then there's Privacy Day in, isn't it January? I'm like, anyway.
I think that's right.
And the whole idea is this is done by CISA, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Agency,
Mm-hmm.
and the National Cybersecurity Alliance. Boom, ba-da-dum. But in 2004, and people don't realize, 2004, they started, October is National Cybersecurity Awareness Month.
Darn.
I know. And, normally October is conference
Halloween.
season. Pardon?
Halloween.
It's conference season, and I always go in whenever I'm doing a presentation during conference season. I said, thank you for having me in honor of National Cybersecurity Awareness Month, right? That's why you invited me this month. And everybody's like, are you serious? This is National Cyber. There is a month? It's like June is dairy month. I know that because I grew up on a farm. But yes, National Cybersecurity Awareness Month is October. And this group, every year, they publish a bunch of information. They do events. There's webinars. There's video, all kinds of graphics. There's presentations you can do. It's amazing how much stuff is included in trying to help you do a Cybersecurity Awareness Month. And our companies and the podcast are the cybersecurity champions. Superheroes.
Yeah.
And each year there is a theme. What is it? Where I've lost my place. What's the theme for 2020, David?
It's do your part. Be cyber smart.
Woohoo! Yeah, it usually has some little,
Little
rhythm
rhyme.
to it. And David, your assignment is to write us a rap for that. Oh, jeez. Or you can do your Freddie Mercury you did earlier this week. So,
Yeah, I know. I did it one time, and then my wife's like, "Do it again. I want to record it." I'm like,
I
"No."
yeah, you're going to do it again. I want to have you. We're going to catch you doing it again. But they have the theme for the month. So do your part. Be cyber smart. And you do social media, hashtag be cyber smart.
Mm-hmm.
And each week, there's a different focus that falls under that theme. And this year, healthcare even gets its own week.
I
How
know.
exciting.
How cool is that?
Well, and it's educating people because, all healthcare doesn't fall under HIPAA, but
Nope.
all HIPAA is related to healthcare.
Yep.
How about that one, folks?
I know
Sure.
some people are like, wait a minute, back up.
Let me try that again. So one of the things that's really a continuing conundrum, if you will, is all the smart devices that people are used to track their health. And, I have an Apple Watch. It knows so much about me. And, there's, can you share it here? And can you share it here? And and I'm paranoid about this stuff. But at the same time, the value of what it provides to remind me to do things and to track what I'm doing and show me how I'm doing with things is essential to changing my habits. So, they show you where it reminds you to stand up. And I'll tell you, you and I both, we get in the zone.
Oh gosh.
I lose hours sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
There's many a time where I looked up and I'd started working. It was dark and I look up and the sun's coming up and I'm like, what happened? Okay.
I
Well,
know.
that won't happen anymore because I got a reminder.
Yep. I get a reminder. It's like, you're doing the pee-pee dance. Go.
Yeah, there is that. It's like, why do you not just stop and go? At
you
what
don't realize, there's a cost to shifting.
point? Yeah. So this year, October starts like on, I guess, a Thursday. So they're doing the 2-day launch. I don't know what that's going to include. But then each week has it's not a theme. Yeah, I guess it is. It's a weekly theme under the monthly theme. That's complex. So, week number 1, if you connect it, protect it, which sounds very similar to one they did last year, but I think it needs to be reiterated.
Yeah.
You know, how many times you have people, they're connecting, oh, look, I can connect my toaster, my refrigerator, my crock pot.
We used to have a theme in our business. It was, if it plugs into a wall, give us a call.
Oh, I like it.
I know, but it really backfired.
Uh-oh.
Because, you know, they're calling for stuff. I'm like, we don't have anything to do with that. Well, you said if it plugs into a wall. Okay,
So-
we gotta get rid of this.
Yeah, go with if you connect it, protect it.
Here you go.
So the whole concept is to remind people, if you are connecting anything to the internet, to the network, then it has to be accounted for in security.
Yeah, but oftentimes people don't understand what that really means. So I've had people say, I'm not connected to the network. I just use the Wi-Fi. I'm like, that's the same thing.
That's part of this education. So first week of October, we have to explain what connecting it means and what protecting it means.
Mm-hmm.
Week number 2, I think, is absolutely essential with all of us now being remote workers, teleworkers, whatever you want to call it. Securing devices at home and work.
Mm-hmm.
Because this whole idea that I don't have to secure anything at home, we all know there's stuff happening right now that we haven't heard about, we may never hear about, that have to do with something that happened from somebody working at home.
Yeah.
That's
I
all.
mean, from a criminal standpoint, this whole work from home thing has been like gangbusters. It's like, wow.
Because it hasn't been planned.
We couldn't have asked for more opportunity here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
we plan ours. You know, you planned it and how it would be secure, and because you did it every Friday, we planned it how it would be secure, because that's how we've run our business for over 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's not planned, then you're connecting it and not protecting it. So week number 3, securing internet connected devices in healthcare. There's the healthcare week.
Yep.
So that does not mean HIPAA. It means healthcare. And then week number 4, this one I'm interested in seeing what they're going to do. The future of connected devices.
It's probably going to be a 5G conversation.
Mm-hmm. Or, some along those lines. So there's really a lot out there, and you can use this information it can be really interesting what you can build. And it's well thought out program. They give you options and ideas. So if you just go to the section that says get involved, and it gives you where you could build your own basic plan. You can pick and choose from like a menu of things to do.
Mm-hmm.
And they include packages with graphics, social media posts, which could be internal posts, internal emails, and links to videos and webinars, and the Cybersecurity Awareness Month champions. They just give you a kit for building your promotions. You get a little seal that you can put on. We got to put our seals on.
I'm put it right up under my certified HIPAA expert seal.
That's a long story, but anyway. Facebook certified.
Yeah, Facebook certified. I'm going to start handing those out. Like when somebody goes on Facebook and talks like they know what they're talking about and they're completely wrong, I'm just going to send them the seal that I created.
Yeah.
You're Facebook certified.
That's why I just can't be, Facebook just.
I'll make another one that's LinkedIn certified and Twitter certified.
Yeah. I decide on Quora whether, I'm going to respond to some of the answers that are put out there. Anyway, so these graphics, social media, all these things, you become a cybersecurity champion. And I mean, it's so easy. You just fill in a thing. You know what the investment is, David? What's the investment?
It's probably twice as much as it was last year.
It is, because 2 times 0.
It's 0.
I know.
It's free.
It's free.
With
Hello.
and they have a money back guarantee just like this podcast.
Triple your money back.
I know.
But it involves like other entities get involved, like the 405D task force.
Mm-hmm.
You know, last year they had a lot of planned events. They released something each week. And I think they were doing webinars each week that went along with the topic. And they're very likely to do the same thing this year,
Mm-hmm.
assuming that the resources, because, you know, the whole committee had to put a hard stop, you know, to dealing with, it wasn't that you couldn't work remotely. I mean, the task force works remotely. It was a large number of them were busy dealing with COVID and all of that. But the task force is back together now. Woohoo!
Get
So
the
watch.
band back together.
And there's a ton of stuff that's coming out, and they have some great information. I guess I could say we, but you know, I still say they. But watch for information coming out every month because it's directed specifically at healthcare entities, the stuff in 405D, but they will be doing things along with several cybersecurity companies. There's a ton of people that partner with it and do or partner, you know, as a champion and then offer webinars and special events to do all of this.
Mm-hmm.
So,
All right. So let's talk about who can use it, how they can use it, you know, how to get started. And then, you know, let's kind of, I guess, go down the list of what it looks like to participate.
okay.
So first, who in the world can use free security awareness training?
Everybody.
Okay, next.
But, you know, there's different approaches. I mean, if you're the security officer, or at least that one that everybody says when they have a technical problem, hey, go ask so-and-so,
Mm-hmm.
then, you know, you take it upon yourself to just get the information and pick and choose. I like the idea of an MSP or a business that supports other organizations, you know, like you and I do, become a champion and do an outreach program with all of our clients.
Yep.
Are you going to do that?
Absolutely.
Now
Already
that
started planning.
this year, we're ahead of the game. I hope
Yep.
to do the same thing. Community organizations, get them involved in the program because they have specific stuff. It doesn't matter what the community organization is, you know, whether it's Rotary Club or the Bridge Club or whatever.
Yeah, last year we did an event with the local Chamber of Commerce, but
Yeah.
you know, this year I don't think that's going to happen. But
Yeah. But, you know, there's ways to share through whether it's social media or monthly meetings or any email chains or listserv or whatever. There's a ton of ways that you can share these things and do it throughout the community because, again, this is all of us. Everybody, well, except for your uncle. He apparently doesn't connect anything.
yeah, he still does not own a cell phone.
Not a phone. Not that he has a flip phone. He has no cell phone.
No phone. So yeah, so he does also not have hacking or security awareness or antivirus or
Or people driving him crazy.
yeah, he is off the grid. So I'm not sure who he's running from, but he's off the grid.
He's completely off the grid. So there's clearly an opportunity no matter what. And they even bring up, you know what, your family and friends. And people like you and I know. We get the call. I don't know what happened. I mashed a button. And then it all went away. Which button was it? I don't know.
I
But
pressed the any button.
you know, there's so many things that technical people, great stories from talking to their family.
Yeah, I give up on passwords with my dad. I'm like, just write them all down somewhere. As much as I hate it, this is just the only option you have.
Yeah, to get you to remember 2 passwords, that's too complicated. But it is a valid point is whether you do it within a small family entity or your family and friends. I might, get jiggy with it and host a cybersecurity Zoom happy hour in October, where everybody, we bring the cocktails and we talk about connect it and protect it, maybe. I don't know.
Yep.
When the team hears this, they'll be like, really? You're going to throw that out there? So,
More stuff?
Yeah. Anyways, there's a lot of things out there for people to learn from. And there's a lot of different methods. So no matter how you learn, there's something there.
Mm-hmm.
And each week, everyone could be involved if they simply agree to be educated. That's it.
Yeah.
How about that?
And that's actually a pretty tall order for some
right.
people.
You're right. 4 minutes. I can't do that. So how would you go about doing this? If now we've told you should do it, could do it.
Yeah.
Would you do it?
You have a great responsibility to do this. You're not part of the solution. You're part of the problem.
Ooh, there you go. But if you go to the website, review the information on the theme, they got everything there. They even have how to get involved. You can become a champion. But most importantly, review the resources and event pages because there's a ton there. And there's a webinar of, what's the title? Get Involved 2020 webinar, something like that. Anyway, the webinar happens like 2 days before this will go out. I tried to time it perfectly. Darn the luck.
I know.
But I'm sure the replay will be there. So you can watch the webinar. And it tells you all the things that are available. So if you need to, instead of read and review it, then you're able to check it out via, watch a vid, listen to people talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So then David did a really good job of bringing in all of the options.
It's amazing what copy and paste can do.
I know, right? It was way more effort than I was into last night. All right, so they've got all these sections on what you can do on social media, at work, at school, and in the community, as well as at home. And there's a great list here. So you go ahead and cover that list, David, because it's a long list. That's why I was going to cheat.
You're just going to cheat.
I was going to say, go read the list.
Well, for those who aren't going to go read the list because, some people are just not going to do it. But, so for the first one for social media, obviously the first thing I would do would be, follow the National Cybersecurity Alliance on social media. And that way you can kind of see where they're doing and, the news that they're putting out. And I think some of that will give you some ideas on what to do in your own social media feeds. And
because even if you're just retweeting or commenting on, because they're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
Most people are active on one of them.
Yep. So, of course, they want you to use the hashtag #BeCybersmart. So anytime you're on social media, just use that hashtag and that, throws everything in a bucket so people can find it. But post your safety tips and things like that. And of course, anytime you really want people to pay attention, it's a little longer format, but if you have a story behind something, that helps a lot. Mm-hmm. And of course, we use that all the time on this podcast. We tell stories, little short stories about things, and it's funny how people remember those things.
Yeah.
We've had people come to the boot camp and like, you remember that time such and such happened to you? I'm like, oh, wow. You remember that?
Did I talk about that on the podcast? There's sometimes that's happened to me. I talked about that on the podcast. Did I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Somebody walked up to me one time like, how's your son doing? I'm like, oh, what do you mean? Yep. So sometimes I overshare, I guess. But so the other thing is looking at the samples social media posts that they give, because they give you everything. to do this. You can either use it the way it is, or you can customize it to meet your own needs. So, for those people out there, especially small businesses, they're like, we don't have any money to put in marketing and creating stuff. It's already there. It's for you to download and use it.
Graphic, and then you get a spreadsheet with the text to go with the graphic.
Right. I mean, it's a complete marketing program for the whole month there.
Boom.
So get it. And then for those who have blogs, blog about stuff, and that gives you your opportunity for a little longer format of content. And, pick something that appeals to you or something that highlights cybersecurity. I mean, there's no industry that this can't touch. I mean, even if you're doing HVAC work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I've had that work done around the house, and they carry iPads and all kinds of everything they reference is online.
Mm-hmm. Well, nowadays, thermostats connect. So I can't tell you how many times I've had a client call me and like, the HVAC people need to get into them. I'm like, no.
Yeah. That's why I made sure I had my networks set up. So, I mean, my 4 different VLANs,
Mm-hmm.
So I have one for my business stuff. I have one that's for security equipment and, things I don't want it on the business, but at the same time, I want them gathered together. And then my IoT stuff, which is, my Rokus and Apple, all of that kind of stuff.
Your
and
fruity
the
stuff.
thermostat and those kind of things. And then my guest network.
Yeah. And if you're, like my house, you have to pay close attention, especially when you have kids. Like, you don't even know what's getting connected sometimes.
Oh, yeah. I have to constantly go look.
Yeah.
I'm still figuring it out.
So, we've got one of those Roomba things, and it had to connect to the internet. And I'm like, for what? It's a stupid vacuum cleaner. But no, it has to connect.
Yeah, it gets updates, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's, having to tell somebody what the layout of my house looks like, which if they look at it, they're probably like, what in the world?
I did see the Roomba technology. I don't remember which guy it was, a Roomba guy talking at Secure World. And I was pretty impressed with what they do worried about security.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean all of the little things that run around your house do. Just saying.
Yeah. And it's, these kids, especially, my kids have moved out. My stepson's still here and he's tech savvy. So I have to be careful, like, what is he buying off of Amazon or whatever else? And does it connect? And is he connected to the right network? So, of course, my work network, nobody knows the password to but me. But, yeah, there's, just like you said, sometimes I'll go in and pull up the list of things that's connected in my house. And I'm like, how do we have 40 something devices connected?
I know.
What in the world?
Yep. There's 3 of you there. What's up with that?
I know.
So if you connect it, protect it, people don't realize how many devices are connected at their house.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Every TV's connected. Every TV device is connected. I mean, it's just crazy. And nowadays, like you said, the refrigerators are connected. And,
I know.
Things to reorder stuff for you are connected. Oh, man, it's crazy.
It's insane.
So
I personally don't, that's my thing is I don't know that I want my refrigerator talking to the internet. I don't want to see what's in it from the grocery store. Just buy another one or don't. Probably couldn't see it anyway because, it's Tetris. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that brings us to the other topic, which is at work and at school and in the community. And this one's going to be a little difficult this year, I think. You have to get creative because, we don't even know what school's going to look like.
Yeah, we don't know what anything's going to look like by October, but.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of virtual things, which in some cases is actually better because putting on a virtual event is a lot less logistics.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
There's
sometimes.
a lot of logistics to what we're doing for the boot camp.
Yeah, that's because it's you and me.
I know, right? How many layers of complication can we add?
We got to do all this crazy stuff.
But
so you already mentioned being a champion. So signing up for that, it's free, simple to sign up. And that's going to get you the most bang for your buck because they're going to send you all this stuff. So do that. And, you mentioned the logo. You can put it on the internal or external websites that you have. and all that good stuff. What about emailing? We hadn't talked about that.
Yeah. I mean, that ability to send out emails, and they even have an employee email template if you're a champion.
Yeah. I mean, it's all done for you. You know what companies charge for a complete month of done for you marketing?
Yeah, I know
It's
you
not
know.
cheap. It is not cheap. And this is a complete month of done for you marketing.
Yeah.
Free.
But it's all about having a plan to send out emails each week that talk about, hey, this is what we're, highlighting. And in the monthly newsletter and whatever is going on out there, it comes in those champion kits, a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So here's one I like. It's host a poster or video contest for, and they're talking about students here, or I would say even in the workplace, because we've seen some crazy videos people put online all the time. This just gives them a chance to do one.
Yeah, people love that stuff.
I know. I've got one I'm going to do. I already thought of it.
Uh-oh.
So it's going to be hilarious.
So it's all about do your part, be cyber smart.
Yep.
You can put that and incorporate it in anything that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the next one though.
So the virtual event?
No,
the leadership.
This is something we talk about all the time, the importance of this.
Yep. So the next one is working with your leadership to issue an official proclamation.
Yeah.
Hear ye, hear ye. We therefore will have Cybersecurity Awareness Month in October. Go forth and prosper. All right. So, show the organization's support of Cybersecurity Awareness Month and, the commitment that you have as an organization to do your part and be cyber smart.
Mm-hmm. And I think they even, as part of the way they have the promotional stuff, there's things that you can use for that as well. But it is one of the key elements of any cybersecurity program is having leadership involved and committed. You say that all the time.
Yep. And it makes a huge difference when leadership is involved, because people on the up under leadership, I was going to say at the bottom, but anywhere underneath leadership, they look at how leadership participates, and that's how they decide how they're going to participate.
Yes. And you don't even realize it. I had a mentor one time told me that whatever you do, your staff is going to do slightly less than that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a natural way that humans function. And the ones that don't do slightly less than that, well, guess what? They're bubbling up. They'll take your job. You need to move up.
I actually had an employee tell me one day that they felt bad. Now this is, they're working 50 hours a week. And they said, I feel bad that you're working more than I am. And number one, I'm like, that's an awesome employee. Yeah. But number two, you're not going to keep up with me. But that's the point. Yeah. And it's not that I want to work all the time, but the point is I set the bar and I set the bar high. And in doing that, I get a high level of return from my employees.
Oh, absolutely. And it's how you communicate that is built into what we're saying about the proclamation for the month.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So the next one is hosting a local or virtual event or some kind of training for your organization. And of course, everybody being online now. Dude, I am so thrilled to death that most everybody knows how to use Zoom.
It's changed our lives.
And some of these other platforms, because, man, the amount of training I had to do just to get somebody to connect to an online meeting used to be painful. And now everybody's like, oh yeah, cool. I know what to do. So, but take advantage of that, because now if you want to have a virtual event, most people understand fully how to connect, what they're expected to do. I think some people still don't understand that their video camera's on, but
yeah, I went through that in a meeting this week. Like, hello, we're watching.
Yeah. So some people, if you can see yourself on the video, they get enthralled with it.
And by the way, it includes a PowerPoint presentation template if you're a champion. Everything's built in. I'm telling you, it couldn't get easier.
Yeah. And I think there's even videos, like already done videos you can share.
They're already out there under resources.
I know. Just,
I mean, there's
So another
all
one is-
kinds of features and stuff. I always feel bad because I don't use them all.
Yeah.
I can't figure it out.
Yeah. All right. So we talked about the logo usage. Another idea is to hold a brown bag lunch for employees.
Yeah.
And, you basically just bring in lunch.
Yeah.
And you can
Lunch
even,
and learn.
and nowadays you can even do that virtually. So you can have some company deliver food to their house or wherever they're working remotely and still have a lunch and learn.
But I like their suggestion is to make sure you discuss the company's IT security and acceptable use and your own policies, because your
Well, the thing-
company promotion internal has to go back to what are our policies and procedures. These are why we have them.
Yeah. The thing I like most about the brown bag idea, though, is like once you finish your lunch, you have something to hyperventilate in.
Oh, geez. Moving right along.
All right. So issue a company promotion related to the month, such as, product discount or competition or giveaway for customers. So, this is something we're going to look at. We haven't done yet. We haven't done some type of competition or giveaway, but we're looking at how we can leverage that this year for our clients.
Yeah, and there's stuff you can print. There's resources. There's in the toolkit. There's press releases.
Is there a coloring book? Is it like the adult coloring thing still a thing?
I guess I don't know.
That tripped me out when that came
These
out.
days there needs to be puzzles. There, a wide variety of things where you could turn it into a big event. And they suggest a mock fishing simulation. If you're not already doing that, really need to be on it.
Yep. One thing that you could do, like if you're an MSP, is actually doing these things for your customers. I know this is a done for you kit, but there's going to be a lot of people that still they're not going to have the time to put it together and do it, even though it's 80% there.
Yeah, that's why I brought that up.
So-
It doesn't even matter if you're an MSP. If you're a business that's your clients are, worried about cybersecurity, or they should be, and you're worried about it, and you hope they are, it's something that you could then promote through to your clients to say, look, we worry about cybersecurity.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of ways you can do this.
Yep. So obviously, distributing all the online safety materials and tip sheets and all these resources are there. You don't have to create anything.
It's the best.
Yeah. And then, and this is a part I really like, is that at the end of it all, so the end of the month, send the employees an email highlighting the activities, the successes, recap the best practices they learned. Basically, you want to kind of end in a bang. And like, this is everything that happened because of what we put into this. And especially when you have something that happens where, maybe an employee caught a phishing attempt.
Mhm.
I mean, those things should be highlighted, like, throw a party for the person or something. I mean, we don't mind throwing stones at people when they screw up. So, give them a huge attaboy when they catch something like that.
Positive reinforcement.
Yes. It's the carrot stick thing. But, and then lastly, at home. And this is something that we've talked about before, not in super detail. It's kind of like, oh yeah, don't forget about your house. But nowadays, man, it's like, it's not just home, it's the, surrogate office.
Yeah. Well, and it brings out, with everybody working from home, there is a certain reason to encourage your staff, your employees who are working from home, give them these tools to talk to their family or host a family thing. Because, we've learned before, the more you make it about how it applies to me, then the more likely it is for people to understand and follow.
Yep. And having that conversation with your kids, and no, I'm not talking about the conversation, but but it's super important because there are so many dangers of being online. And I think sometimes adults forget about that, or they don't even realize it. But there I mean, we had an event here. It's been a few years now. You know what swatting is?
Oh, yeah. It happened I think it happened in Atlanta this week.
Yeah. So we had that happen in our house. And fortunately, we're in a small town. There's no SWAT team. But police did show up, guns drawn and everything else. The only thing that saved us a little bit was the fact that the address was wrong. And so they went to our neighbor's house. And the neighbor wasn't at home. But, it could have been very bad for us. So, and that was just something my kid's online talking to somebody. Next thing I know, a bunch of police come flying up, and it's crazy. So there's a lot of dangers online, and kids need to be aware of those things. Yes. Adults need to be aware of those things. And like anything else, they're not going to remember it if you just talk about it one time. So, if you have the ability to put up some posters or little notes or just talk about it from time to time, then you certainly need to do that. I mean, we are a connected society. It is, the internet, I think, is not a fad anymore. So it's probably going to stick around. So we have to understand that it's an integral part of our life. Technology is part of our everyday lives in a way that I don't think I could have understood it 20 years ago that it would be this way. And so we have to give it the full attention that it deserves and protect ourselves from the ways that it can be used against us.
Oh, yeah. I remember in the early 90s trying to convince the company we need a website.
Yeah.
Why do we need a website?
So we can have animated GIFs.
There were so many funny things back then.
Yep. But in conclusion, I would say you have no excuse.
No excuses.
You have no excuse not to do this free security awareness
Even
training.
to just do one thing.
I know. It's completely provided for you. You just have to have the commitment of whoever's putting it all together and the commitment of the people to actually want to learn it.
Yeah. And, those that you employ have to show up, but you still want them to learn it.
Yep. It's valuable and it's necessary. And I think the necessary part is what's kind of missing from people. I don't think they understand how critical this is.
Mm-mm.
And of course, that's part of the conversation I think you should have in the beginning. Like, why are we doing this? It's not just, well, we could get hacked. Well, talk about what it looks like should that happen. If Susie at the front desk clicks on something and lets somebody in, or somebody calls her on the phone and she lets them in, what is the damage that can be? Not just the person's going to lose their job, but what can come of that? Patients getting their records stolen, and potentially the entire office could lose their job.
Well, yeah, we've seen companies shut down over hacks and attacks.
Yeah.
So,
and of course, with the MSPs, I mean, we talked recently, they're still under attack, and we hold the keys to the kingdom. It's pretty daunting and a little scary when you think about it, because if I'm a medical office, I do have all these people's data to protect, but I only have to protect my one network. As an MSP, I'm protecting mine and every single client.
Yeah, it's mine that so many people are forgetting about.
Yeah, you're right. It is.
In the MSP world, anyway.
It's like I do a wonderful job protecting my clients, but my security sucks. What is that? Don't ever buy a car from a mechanic.
It's the cobbler's shoes kind of thing. Cobbler's children never have nice shoes. But no excuses. Get it done. And we're going to see what we can do a better job promoting this along the way. Hopefully we can do one every week that follows the theme. I don't know. You know how things are for us.
Maybe we should have a contest for our listeners.
Ooh, I love that idea.
All right.
We're having one.
That's it. That's my part. I come up with the idea.
Okay.
Krista figured it out.
Right, there you go. Krista, figure that out.
Yeah, Krista figured it out. All right, folks, that is our show for today. Remember to follow us and share us out on your favorite social media site. And don't forget the review. Leave us a podcast review. And rate us on our podcasting app, or, take our content and put it on a webinar or whatever. Doesn't matter.
Just share it with people.
Just help us spread the word. And always remember, the HIPAA is not about compliance. It's about patient care.
You've been listening to the Help Me with HIPAA podcast, hosted by Donna Grindle and David Sims. the show created to help you with HIPAA. For more information or to ask us a question, visit our website at helpmewithhipaa.com. Neither Donna Grindle or David Sims are attorneys, and they do not offer binding legal advice concerning regulatory compliance. The information in this podcast should not be relied upon or construed as legal advice in any way. Consult your attorney for legal advice concerning compliance with HIPAA regulations.